Hello everyone and welcome to the very first episode of That Feeling When, where we'll be discussing some of the public's most undignified stories. My name is Dylan Tajada.
And my name is Natalie Neal. This week we'll be discussing your most embarrassing moments.
Now, we have three very special guests with us today. Please guests, will you do the honour of introducing yourselves?
My name is Ruby, I'm 21, I'm from Hertfordshire and I'm a support worker.
My name's Jenny, I'm 45, I'm from Birmingham and I work for the police.
I'm Blythe, I'm 21 and I go to Nottingham Trent University and I'm from Stoke.
Very good.
Nice,
Okay.
nice.
Well, thank you guys for leaving your dignities at home. For our entertainment, of course. So, Ruby, do you want to start telling us your most embarrassing moments?
Sure. So it wasn't actually too long ago. It was kind of my first night out because obviously lockdown happened and my boyfriend invited me out to London with him and his sister, his older sister, and his cousin was coming and his cousin's boyfriend as well. And I told myself, like, you're not going to get too drunk, you've got training tomorrow for work. So we went out in Camden first and it was happy hour. So yeah,
It's a bit dangerous, isn't it?
yes, just a little
It's happy
bit.
hour, you know it's going to go down.
How long have you been together?
Nearly 2 years.
Okay.
Nearly 2 years, yeah. So happy hour happened. And then the first thing that happened, which was quite embarrassing, is that I left my phone in the previous bar we went to. So
Great start.
so we were literally running around Camden for a bit, like with my friends, like trying to find
Oh, no.
my iPhone. So
annoying.
yeah, so he was already a bit annoyed by that. And then I remember we found my phone, and I was so happy, and we got more drinks, and then that's just when I don't remember.
Just
no.
genuine blackout.
Like literally blackout. And I told my mum that I was coming home that night. And I woke up in Ewan's single bed in his spare room in his house.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just like, oh, for God's sake, like, what have you done? In bed with him, in this single bed. I was just like, oh, what's happened?
Was it the worst hangover?
Oh, by far. Like, it was the worst hangover ever. And he was like, you've got no idea what happened, do you? And I was just like, no. Like,
Oh, no.
please tell.
Whereabouts did you go in Camden? I was there not long ago.
It was Simmons bar, and we
I
went.
love Camden.
I don't know.
Camden is so good though.
It
is
Brilliant.
good.
It's so fun and so,
Yeah,
so
I don't know where we went after Simmons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
No idea.
And he basically said that we both got really drunk, him and his sister.
Oh, that's good.
And then on the way back, we got a taxi home because it was just easier. And I was like hurling in a taxi, and she gave me her handbag, and I was
Oh, no
disgusting.
way.
Sick in
the
her handbag. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And then I got back home, and then he realised that I'd pissed myself as well.
No.
It's the first time that's
way.
ever happened to me.
What
That
were you
is mad.
drinking?
Cocktails.
Not
If it's
wine.
2 for 1, then you just
Yes,
naturally
it was
get
2
that
for
way.
1.
Yeah.
It was
Also,
2
You
for
when
gotta
1.
take
sweet,
advantage. You gotta take advantage.
When they're sweet and you
Yeah.
have a straw, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
so dangerous.
They just
Yeah.
taste like
The
juice,
straw
don't
just
they?
Yeah.
comes down you just
Literally.
That's the issue. I went back home in the morning with a plastic bag of my pissy clothes.
It's fine. At least you guys are still together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, true. Still loves me.
Take a carrier bag in future.
Yeah.
Yeah, have it on
idea.
standby in the back pocket. So, Jennifer, do you want to tell us one of your most embarrassing
Jennifer,
stories?
that's my name. My mum gives me when I'm naughty.
Oh, really?
Yes, I have many actually, because obviously I'm a lot older, so I do have lots. But my worst moment ever was when I first moved to Nottingham. Didn't know anybody. didn't just spit it up from my husband as well. So my friend decided for my 40 it would be funny to post me a vibrator, which I didn't know that's what it was. Missed a parcel, so I popped to my local post office, which, you know, it's just round the corner, and obviously, as luck would have it, it started to go off as he's handing me this parcel, and it's quite obvious what it was, because it wasn't even, it's the shape, it was very obvious.
Yeah.
And this was a dad from the school where my kids have just started going.
Oh no.
That like works in the post office.
Was it like wrapped up in like gift
It
wrap?
was in like a jiffy bag, but you could tell it wasn't really. It was new. I presume it was a new one she'd bought me. But it was like
You'd hope so.
You never know. It was just like in a kind of, when you opened it out, so where it was quite obvious because it was in a bag shaped like that.
Oh my gosh.
So it wasn't ideal. And then when it started going, it obviously started going off because he was like handing it to me and started pressing it for some reason.
Oh
So
my
I get the feeling he knew what it was because the way he started.
That is
Did it?
really weird. It's so weird.
You could hear the noises. There's a queue of people behind me, some people that I knew, and then he like just, you could see the smile on his face, and he just I didn't know what to say,
Oh my gosh.
and I couldn't deny it was me then because I'd showed my ID.
Yeah.
This parcel that I'm collecting.
Let's take it on the chin at that
And
point.
then
yeah.
I just said, thank you very much. I said, it's my 40. He said, well, it looks like you're in for a good birthday then.
Oh my days.
And then I couldn't go. I couldn't explain to anybody for about 2 years. I couldn't go back to that post office. So I used to
No.
travel all the way into town or go
Really?
somewhere else rather than go back. And
Oh.
he used to see me on the playground every single day and smile at me.
Oh.
We're still friends.
That's the main thing then. That's all right then. Not too shabby.
It's that guy you need to avoid. Can't be friends with him.
Was it
Oh
recently?
no! It's just 5 years ago.
Oh
But
God, and he still remembers.
I've only just last year started going back to that post office because it's down the road. I can't be bothered going anywhere else. And it's still like takes my parcels and like anything of interest. I'm like, oh my God.
Do you think he still remembers?
Well, the thing is, the kids used to say to me, why are we not going to that one? I used to just make some excuse because I couldn't tell them, could I?
No.
That it's because I used to just make anything up.
So funny.
Oh my days. When did Chloe hear about this story as well?
Only a couple of weeks ago.
When you were first telling it before?
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah,
Funny.
it's not something you share that often, is it, really?
No.
I'll set the scene for you. So, do you remember at school when did you have like sex education in primary school? Just
No.
like no, it's
Not
not.
primary school,
It's
mine
not
was
a big
Catholic.
one. It's where they just taught you about periods and stuff.
Yeah.
I got taught about. Well, obviously I got taught about periods. I don't know how old I was. I think I was like 9 or 8. I got taught about periods, and I was like, oh, this is such a big thing that's going to happen to me when I'm older. And I went riding on a bike, and I was with my friends. We went down this little hill, and I don't know what happened, but like I was riding back, went down this hill, and the bike hit something, so I abruptly stopped and went like that. And I was like, oh, that really hurt, but didn't really think anything of it. But not to get graphic, but
It's gonna get graphic, ain't it?
I remember thinking like, my vagina really hurts, and I was 9, and I was like, I was bruised, I don't know. And I go home, and I go to the toilet, and there's blood all in my pants,
Jeez.
and I literally start crying, and my mum comes in and she's like, what's wrong? I was like, I started my period. She was like, you haven't started your period. I was like, no, I have, I learned about it. It's blood all in my pants, I've started my period. She was like, trust me, you haven't started your period. And I explained everything to her. She was like, you haven't. And I was like, well, I don't understand what happened then, because I hadn't cut myself or anything. And I was like, don't understand what happened. And then fast forward a few years, I get to 16 years old, and I'm with my boyfriend, and I'm about to lose my virginity to him, and he's like, if you bleed, like, it's fine, like, don't worry. I was like, yeah, okay. I do it, and there's no blood. And he's like, that's a bit odd. And I'm like, is it? I don't know. And then I remember, it just comes to me, and I'm like, did I pop my cherry when I was little?
Oh my days.
And then it clicks with me, and I'm like, is that what happened?
Oh my days.
When I rode my bike, because I had such an abrupt thing.
That is mad.
And I'm Googling it, and people are like, you can pop your cherry when like you're horse riding and like you're a gymnast and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what happened then, isn't it? Because I
No
didn't,
way.
I was fine. And then it just all clicks with me, and I'm like, so I popped my cherry when I was 9, riding a bike.
That is insane. Like,
It's mad.
It didn't register me for a few years, and then it did.
what? Like, how did you even like? When did you even realise? Like,
I don't know when I actually properly realised, but
I still wouldn't have thought, I popped my cherry at 9 years old.
it
I'd
never.
think that.
It always stuck with me though that happened. Like when I rode that bike, and I couldn't figure out what had happened because I never cut myself or anything. It was just blood everywhere.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? So
Did your mum not say like, oh,
no,
it might be
but
that?
it's quite obvious that she knew what was going on because she was like, you haven't started your period.
So she knew.
But I was 9. Do you know what I mean? So she wasn't going to be like, this is what's
You
happening.
can't really explain
Yeah.
that when you're
did you
9.
not go up to a doctor or anything at the time?
No, because
or-
I was fine. Like, so I bled, and then the next day
That was it.
It was fine. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I hadn't cut myself. I was fine.
that is insane,
Wow.
though.
So weird.
That's mad.
I know. Yeah. Character building.
I loved hearing your stories, guys.
It was. They were all so brilliant.
Yeah,
They were
thank you
great.
for coming in.
Some of them were shocking, more shocking than others. Embarrassing. They were really good,
Yeah.
honestly.
Should we
So
do a
good.
little vote of who's the worst? Okay, Dylan, go.
Ruby.
Ruby, who do you
Yeah.
think?
I think it was yours. Definitely.
So Jenny, you think
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
Jenny's?
yeah.
Okay.
Most embarrassing, I'd
Yeah.
say yours, but most
Ruby's.
awkward.
I'm not-
I'd say
Yeah, yours was just
I'm not
more
embarrassed by
awkward,
mine.
yeah.
Mine's just a bit weird.
Own
Yeah.
it, girl.
No, who would
and
you
didn't
say?
know
Who
it was
said?
possible either. on a
Neither
bike.
did I.
I didn't know it was possible either. Who do you think?
Definitely the dildo story.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Jenny's.
yeah.
I think it was Ruby's, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yours is long term.
Yeah.
Jenny's is
Yours
long-term.
is going to stay with you
Long-term
every time you go
embarrassment.
to that post
Every time.
office.
If you think you won't get in that position again, I still do it.
Oh.
Taxes,
Lovely.
It's the way to be, though. You just know when you get sick, it means you've had fun.
It means you've had a good
Exactly.
night.
You've had a good night, you've had a blast.
Yeah, I think it's a
It's a
time.
I mean, in the moment, maybe it's like the worst thing, like when you're actually getting sick, but it's always good. When you look back, you go, I've had fun.
Yeah.
But
At
yeah,
least
no.
you weren't with that many people as well.
Exactly.
Anyway, so I think it's a tie.
A tie,
Which
yeah.
is kind
They
of
were all
amazing.
kind of crazy, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But they were brilliant.
They were.
There were some really good stories. Right, I think I've had enough for one episode of you, Nat.
I sure have. But before we wrap up, I just want to say a big thank you to our guest speakers.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Join us on another episode of That Feeling When for Dylan and Nat's embarrassing chats.
Bye.